AJ Hazzi bought his first property when he was 19 and he hasn't looked back since. He opened his own brokerage firm called Vantage West Realty, and he's going to share with us the top 3 ways to net more out of selling your house. AJ, welcome. It's great to have you here. You are a former hockey player, and then you went straight into essentially being in business for yourself.
Yeah, you bet. Real estate's pretty much all I've ever done.
And when you say you bought your first property, how does someone buy their first property at age 19? Like, tell me that story.
You know, it was kind of a random thing, but I was living in Australia and just working as a DJ and being a surf bum, and just the circumstance
as a DJ being a surf bum.
The circumstance that I had was that I wasn't spending any money, so all of the money that I was making I was banking, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough for a 5% down on a house when I came back to Canada. So most people came back to Canada with a bunch of credit card debt, but because of my circumstance, I came back with 12 grand to put down on my first house. So I was
but the key thing there is what made you think of buying a property at age 19?
Well, and again, this was just sort of circumstantial, but when I was in Australia, we were paying $20 a night each to live in a hostel, and there was 4 or 5 of us that were traveling together. So what we figured out was that if we pooled our money, that actually added up. What we were paying to hostels was a couple grand a month. So we were actually able to rent a pretty nice house there, and then those guys went home, and I ended up having this house, and I just upped the rent on all the other rooms so that I was living for free. So I got to taste this idea of, well, you could be the guy that covered the main expense of the property, but you could sublet it to other people and live for free or make money. So when I kind of caught the bug there, I realized I could go home and buy a house, and my mortgage payment would be like $800 a month, and I can rent 3 rooms out to friends of mine for $500 a piece, and it just
making money.
Yeah, making money
in the black instead of paying any rent.
And having your own place at 19 worked out pretty good too for your social life and that kind of thing as well.
Now we have a lot of entrepreneurial thinking people that are watching the show. There's nothing to stop anybody from doing exactly what you did at age 19 today.
No.
It's just being open-minded enough, and obviously you had to work and get some money together.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to today. You're still passionate about real estate and passionate about helping people to, become financially secure through real estate. Mm-hmm. In your case, you decided to become a real estate agent.
Yep.
So tell me about that process.
Well, in buying that first home, I was introduced to a realtor. At the time, he was a young guy, nice pea coat, driving a BMW. I was very impressed by the whole thing. And anyways, I took him out for lunch to ask him about the business, and he told me it was just a series of glamorous coffee meetings and lunches, and completely lied to me about the business. But I did decide to get licensed at that time, and got in the business, and was the only 20-year-old real estate agent out there.
Oh, so you bought the property at 19, but you became a realtor at 20.
Yeah.
Can people still do that?
Oh yeah, for sure. We've got a guy actually who's just coming up the ranks in our company who's 19 right now, and will likely be licensed by the time he's 20. My brother did the same thing. He followed my lead and got licensed at 20 as well.
So you get licensed, and Vantage West is basically the leading firm in your city. So so you've had great success with it.
For sure.
What are you doing differently than all the other real estate firms out there? And I know that part of what you're doing allows for some guy 19 or 20 years old to ease into the business.
Yeah, well, our model is completely different than how real estate has operated for the last 80 years or so. Essentially, it's the complete opposite of how everything else works. For example, the industry, one of the major faults of the industry is that it creates this scarcity mentality. There's not enough desks for all the agents, there's not enough management, there's not enough leads, there's not enough parking, there's not enough anything for the amount of people that they have to have at these brokerages in order for the brokerage to exist. And that's because the value exchange between the brokerage and the agent is this, I'll give you very little and you'll give me very little back in return, and that's typically how it works. Our model is the opposite. We all pool our resources, and there's an abundance versus a scarcity. So there's an abundance of administrators that are helping these guys and leveraging their time. There's an abundance of marketing dollars that are all marketing the same message instead of, if you're at Remax, there's 200 agents all marketing their message. So you've got all this noise coming out, but nothing that's cohesive. Right?
So you're saying, how many agents do you have in your brokerage right now?
Or 15.
So you have 15. In a normal brokerage, those 15 agents are all really competing with each other.
Yeah.
And that's where the scarcity mentality comes in.
Absolutely.
So is it how you've structured the sharing of commissions or
Yeah,
what?
there's a pool for sure. There's also, we've got a unique thing called an inside sales department. So the collective marketing that we all spend together will generate anywhere from 400 to 600 leads every month. Then the inside sales agents, they call these leads and book appointments in a rotation for our guys. So what's neat for our agents is that they operate from this place where, one, they have no expenses. So they have none of that looming overhead that might cause you to give unbiased advice to somebody. And in addition, they have no concern of where their next client might come from. So they come from a very strong place when they're giving that consultative service to a client.
So this is almost getting me interested in becoming a realtor, thinking that because when realtors that I've known, their issue is they're always hunting around for they're always looking for someone who's buying or selling.
Sure.
So they're always on the hunt. And then when they do get a property to sell, of course, there's this tendency they want to jam a deal home,
Sure.
which may not be in the best interests of their client, the seller or the buyer.
You're right. And I think that's why I think as an industry, real estate agents have kind of been plotted somewhere between a used car salesman and maybe an insurance salesman somewhere. And the reason for that is people think that the agent's looking out for their own best interest and not their own. And I mean, think about it logically. Let's say you're an agent at one of the big offices and you've got a $5,000 a month office bill or overhead, and you don't know
Because you're doing your own marketing.
You're doing your own thing, and you've got an assistant that you're paying her $3,000 a month, and you've got all these marketing expenses that are kind of adding up, and you haven't done a deal in a month or so, and you've got this one client, and they cross the threshold of a home that they like, and they look to you and they say, "What do you think? Should I buy this house?"
Absolutely.
Are you in a position to say anything other than that, right?
Right.
So we take a consultative approach versus the salesperson's approach. So we don't sell homes. We offer a consultation service to help people buy or sell homes.
So you build in, and this, when you talk about an in-house what do you call outbound marketing team,
Yeah.
so you're actually, instead of just placing ads in the paper or whatever, you've got your own internal team that are doing the marketing on behalf of your agents.
Yeah, so a big portion of the revenue that we generate goes into a marketing spend. That money is pooled. And we spend that across all different platforms. We're on the radio, television, there's a lot of online because that's where you can get very targeted with the type of people that you market to. So that marketing spend is there to attract clients. And we put out a lot of content as well. We write articles and put out informative videos, and that in turn attracts a lot of people to us. So there's a production portion of that within our firm, and they constantly can keep that marketing machine going. And then we've got, like I said, the inside sales department, and their only job, and they're licensed agents, their only job is to get on the phone and start the process with folks and to understand their need, and if there's a real need, make the introduction to one of our outside agents.
So that inside agent is a licensed realtor, but he's never closing deals. He's focused and specializing in one area.
He gets a portion of the transactions. The way our team works is there's people at different portions of the transaction. So there's the marketing guys, and they get a percentage of the deals. There's the inside sales guys, and they get a percentage. Then you've got the consultants, and they get a percentage for handling the consultative portion. And then from there, we've even got licensed people who handle the due diligence. They'll go down to the city and pull the file of the house. We've got a client experience manager. She'll arrange the gifts and the closing gifts and all the little things that happen along the way.
Client experience manager.
Yeah.
So in a normal situation, that one realtor kind of working on his own has to handle all those different elements.
Well, most agents on their own couldn't afford, nor would they have the time to do the gamut of things that we do for a client. But that is one of the big problems with being an agent, is that you kind of have to wear 15 hats. You're your own IT guy, you deliver your own lockboxes, feature sheets, hang your sold signs, you go and pick up strata documents from the strata company. Like, you're driving around all day, and the bulk of what you do is not really dollar productive, nor is it what your client expects you to be doing. If someone's paying you to sell their home, they expect you to be promoting the home or showing buyers the home. But if your bulk of your day, if your time is being pulled in all these different directions, and you're forced to spend your day on all this ancillary stuff, you don't have a lot of your time to really do what makes the phone ring or what you're getting paid to do.
So this is a completely different model. It's working great for you in the one city.
For sure.
So I take it you're taking this out across the country.
Yeah, that's the idea. We're going to grow it slowly, but we do want to expand into 10 markets across Canada. Our next will be Victoria. Really excited about that. Victoria is kind of a sister city to Kelowna, so I know that what we're doing here will work very well there. And then once we've sort of perfected the expansion model, we'll march it across east.
Now, what about the education component? Because you mentioned, realtors are considered, like salespeople, and may be perceived by some as car sales, insurance sales. Your model is to turn real estate representatives into quote unquote professionals. So you do ongoing training.
Yeah, that's a good point. Our agents actually spend anywhere from 3 to 5 hours per week in ongoing training. And usually that's a mastermind style training, which we do in our office. And we're just constantly revising our service, going over best practices, talking about negotiations, talking about industry changes, but we're constantly creating this brain trust and just upgrading our skills. And I think that's a big part of kind of our culture and why it is that, our agents are able to sell 4 times more homes than the average agent in the industry, and how we're actually able to quantify that our homes that we list sell for more money, and the buyers that work with us, they buy homes for less. It's because we're really trying to evolve what we're doing. And the unfortunate part about our industry is because these singular agents, they're so busy that there isn't any time for them to actually go and do the training. And even if they had the time, where do they get the training? You'd have to fly somewhere. It's not like in Kelowna there's a constant stream of trainers coming in, right? So
AJ Hazzi, Vantage West Realty, you got a great model. It sounds fascinating. It sounds like it could change the industry. What about the other part of your passion, which is showing people not only how to buy and sell a house, but to make money themselves as individuals, as you've done yourself through real estate?
For sure. I mean, that's the part that really gets me excited now, especially after being in the business for 15 years. I've kind of honed in on my niche, and that's helping people invest in real estate, create that positive cash flow so that they can create freedom in their life, or whatever it is, the reason. There's got to be a why. Why would we go through the effort of finding homes and renting them out if there wasn't a big reason? But I like to kind of drill down and consult people on achieving their goals through whether it's buying a condo or a fourplex or an apartment building. That's really the sector of the market I enjoy now.
And you're getting into some development projects, and you're, dare I say it, a Donald Trump type character. You can always cut that out, don't worry.
No, it's all right. I don't know about the comparison to Trump, but I definitely, my wife says I haven't met a piece of real estate I haven't fallen in love with. And I've somehow managed to sort of vertically integrate myself through the whole industry. And so development now is something that we're doing quite a bit of. We've got a great project up in Glenmore, and got one in Vernon, and soon one in the South Pandozi area. So it's a lot of fun as well.
So we're going to wrap up AJ Hazzi of Vantage West. We promised to give 3 tips on how to get more value in selling your home. So what are they?
Sure. Well, what you want to do is get way ahead of it. About 5 to 6 weeks before you're going to sell your home, have somebody come over, an agent that specializes in maybe flipping homes or something like that, to give you some consultation on what you can do before you list the property to get it in tip-top shape. 5 to 10 grand before taking the home to market will usually result in anywhere from 10 to 30,000 more in the sale price, just by spending the money in the right spots.
So almost every home could use a little spruce up or from an outsider to decide how to increase the value.
We send a stager and one of our consultants through every listing beforehand and make recommendations on what they can do to tweak it. So the next piece is you want to put a coming soon sign on the real estate sign, and about a week before you go live, and you start to market the home a little bit behind the scenes so you can create some pent-up demand for the home.
Really?
Yeah.
So before you list it, you start putting the word out.
Yeah.
It's almost like a pre-launch.
Yeah, it's a pre-launch. We have a whole 7-day sequence that we use, and there's about a dozen things that happen in that 7 days to get sort of the sizzle happening for the home. And then you list it on a Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, you list it on a Thursday.
You sure you want to share this secret with the whole world here?
I'm happy. I'm an open book. You list the home on a Thursday, and you let traffic go through. There'll be all this pent-up demand. You'll have all this traffic, and then you say no offers until Sunday. Okay?
Wow.
What this does is you're predetermining that this house is going to go into multiple offers. You've got it in tip-top shape, you've priced it properly, you've done a 7-day launch, and now you're telling the market that, hey, this is a hot commodity, and we'll be taking offers on Sunday.
So someone comes with an offer on Friday, you say, sorry, I'll
better
talk
be-
to you Sunday.
Occasionally, someone
You
will
would
come with an
break
offer
your own
anytime.
rule, yeah.
Occasionally, someone will come with an offer, and we'll say, listen, if you want to circumvent this whole system, the offer's got to be very good. It's got to be over list price. And we do. We sell homes all the time for 10 or 20,000 over list because somebody wants to jump the queue.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
AJ Hazzi, I learned a lot.
Right on.
Thanks for coming on Biz One-on-One.
My pleasure.
And we're